the hand. The reason I call them the hand is that I think that's a good term for the five. The thumb, the apostle, a very important finger that most naturally touches all the other fingers and used to grasp objects. The index finger, the prophet, who points to sin and often can be vehement and pointing forward in time. The middle finger, the evangelist, who reaches farthest out. The ring finger, who embraces the sheep, makes a ring around the sheep. And the little finger, the teacher, who goes deepest into the ear. When Paul mentioned these five here, we see that it is without thought about who is the first and last. But it is interesting to see that it is the correct order with respect to the hand, if one starts with the apostle. Another rule of hand is the senses. To see. The apostle sees the drawing for the house of God, which he needs to be a master builder. Hear. The prophet hears about the future. Tasting. The evangelist is tasting many new cultures. Feel. The elder have compassion for the sheep. Smell. The teacher must smell if someone asks a question because they are sincere, or they will put him to the tests. Ephesians 4:11. It is not the only place we have a litany of the fingers of the hand. We find them also in 1 Corinthians 12:28, and here they stand in order. 1 Corinthians 12:28. And God placed indeed some in the outcalled, ecclesia, church. Firstly, apostles. Secondly, prophets. Thirdly, teachers. Then the works of power, the gifts of healing, helps, governings, kinds of languages. Here we have the hand in order. First apostles, second prophets, third teachers, fourth evangelists, and fifth shepherds. We see that it isn't written evangelists, but the gifts of the evangelists. Work of power and gifts of healing. Neither is it written shepherds, but helps, governings, and kinds of languages, which I think are the gifts that a shepherd should have. Jesus walked the earth, and revival came where he was, in one way or another. The whole outcalled is the body of Jesus, but Jesus himself gave some to be apostles, prophets, teachers, evangelists, and shepherds. These are the joints and bands in Ephesians 4:16 and Colossians 2:19, who shall equip and edify the whole body so that it shows Jesus. But we depend on Jesus. Jesus the apostle, Hebrews 3:1, Jesus the prophet, Acts 3:22, Luke 1:33, Jesus the teacher, Luke 6:40, John 3:2, Jesus the evangelist, Mark 1:14-15, and Jesus the shepherd, Matthew 2:6, 1 Peter 5:4, and John 10:11. It is important to know that It is verse 11 in Ephesians 4, which leads to verse 12, and then verse 13, and then verse 14, and then verse 15 and 16. And when this has happened, the outcalled is ready for the return of Jesus. And it is He who gave some to be PETS. The way to revival is renewal of the mind, Acts 3:19. But we do not only want revival, do we? No, we want more than that. We want everything God has for us. And we want what is more important, that God shall have us exactly as He wants.